The village of Oakhaven nestled deep within the whispering woods. Perpetually cloaked in a shroud of fear, children were hushed with tales of the great basilisk dwelling in the craggy peaks above, its gaze a death sentence, its very presence a curse. Young Elara knew these stories well, whispered around crackling hearths on long winter nights. Yet, unlike the others, fear wasn't her constant companion. Blind since birth, Elara navigated her world through the scent of damp earth after rain, the rough texture of ancient oak bark beneath her fingertips, and the melodic symphony of birdsong at dawn. While others saw only darkness in her eyes, she perceived a rich tapestry woven from sound, scent, and touch, a world vibrant in its own unseen way. One crisp autumn morning, a terrified cry shattered the village peace. The basilisk! It descends from the mountain. Panic erupted like a startled flock of birds. Doors slammed, shutters rattled closed, and the rhythmic thud of heavy beams barricading homes echoed through the suddenly silent lanes. Elara, tending her small herb garden guided by the pungent scent of rosemary and thyme, felt the vibrations of fear ripple through the ground. Alone in the deserted square, the frantic shouts fading into the distance, she stood still, her face tilted towards the sun's warmth. She couldn't flee the unseen, and a strange, quiet curiosity bloomed within her. A stark contrast to the terror gripping Oakhaven. A heavy silence descended, thick and unnatural, broken only by the rustle of dry leaves skittering across the stones. Then came a new sound, a euro, a slow, deliberate scrape, like massive scales dragging over rough granite, accompanied by a deep, resonant breathing that seemed to vibrate the very air. Elara breathed. A wave of immense heat washed over her, carrying the scent of sun-baked stone and something ancient. Like deep, undisturbed earth, she sensed a vast presence looming before her, a wall of heat and power trembling. But driven by that inexplicable pull, Elara slowly extended a hand into the unknown space before her, her heart pounding a frantic rhythm against her ribs. Her fingertips brushed against something astonishingly solid, yet unexpectedly smooth in places, cool like river-polished stone, but radiating an inner warmth. It felt like intricate, overlapping plates, ancient and strong. A soft hiss, surprisingly gentle, escaped the creature, and warm air stirred her hair. Little one, a voice resonated, not in her ears, but deep within her mind, rich and weary like wind through ancient caverns. Why do you not run? Are you not afraid? Elara drew a shaky breath, her hand still resting lightly on the cool scale. I cannot see your gaze, she whispered, her voice surprisingly steady. I only feel loneliness, terrible loneliness, like the echo in an empty cave. A profound stillness followed her words. Then a feeling washed over Elara, not of menace, but of immense sorrow, a deep ache that seemed to emanate from the creature itself, filling the space between them. For centuries, the basilisk's voice echoed softly in her mind, filled with a grief as old as the mountains. They have fled, believing my gaze turns flesh to stone, but it is not destruction I bring, it is revelation. My gaze strips away the masks mortals wear, laying bare the truth within. A euro, the kindness, the cruelty, the hidden sorrows, the secret joys. They see the raw soul reflected in another's eyes, and they cannot bear it. They see their own hidden shames, their unspoken fears, magnified, so they call me monster, and flee. The weight of its isolation pressed upon Elara, a tangible thing in the silent square. Suddenly, shouts erupted from the village edge. A brave, or foolish, band of men armed with hunting spears and makeshift shields had gathered, emboldened by numbers and fear. Away from her, beast! Roared the blacksmith, his voice thick with terror disguised as bravery. Elara instinctively stepped forward, placing herself firmly between the immense heat of the basilisk and the approaching villagers. Stop! Her voice, usually soft, rang out clear and strong, surprising even herself. He brings no harm. His gaze, it doesn't destroy, it reveals, it shows the heart. She turned her unseeing eyes towards the men. What is it you fear to see reflected back? What truth hides within your own hearts that you would slay instead of facing? A stunned silence fell. The men faltered, their aggressive postures slackening, Confusion warring with ingrained terror on their faces, they stared at the blind girl standing fearlessly before the legendary terror, her hand still touching its massive flank. Her words striking an uncomfortable chord. The basilisk shifted. The scraping sound softer now, a wave of profound gratitude, warm and gentle as a summer breeze, washed over Elara. Thank you, Elara. The voice resonated within her, carrying a profound gentleness. You, who live without sight, truly saw me. You perceived the heart beneath the scales, the soul behind the myth. Remember this sight. With a final, soft hiss that sounded almost like a sigh, the immense presence began to withdraw. The heat lessened. The scraping sounds grew fainter, ascending back towards the mountain crags, leaving behind only the scent of sun-warmed stone and an echoing silence. Elara stood alone in the square once more, but profoundly changed. The villagers slowly emerged, murmuring amongst themselves, casting bewildered glances at the retreating mountain and the small, blind girl. Elara felt a new warmth blooming within her chest, a quiet understanding. She hadn't needed sight to perceive the basilisk's profound loneliness, nor its true nature. She hadn't needed eyes to see the fear masking the villagers' hearts. As she turned towards the scent of her herbs, the world felt richer, deeper. She carried the basilisk's unseen gift within her now, the profound understanding that the most important truths, the essence of a being, were felt not with the eyes, but with the heart. And in that quiet knowledge, found in the space where fear once resided, lay a deep and enduring peace. She knew she would forever perceive the world differently, listening not just with her ears, but with the quiet insight gifted by the creature of the crags.